as I look at the world and as we came out and talked about in our strategy, for me and the Navy, the Middle East and the Western Pacific, because of the economic interest, not just of our country, but of so many of our allies and indeed the world economy, drives from those two areas. So those are two places, and given all the time I spent in the Pacific, I have an appreciation and indeed a love of that area. And one of the things that I alluded to in my talk is that as I spent my formative years in the Middle East, so I have a strong personal interest there. But those are two areas that I think are incredibly important. I do believe that because it's of interest in our hemisphere, that we should interact more with our South American partners, which we have been doing, and we have stepped up the activity there. Shortly after becoming the CNO, I created the Fourth Fleet that really puts a much more focused view on the types of operations that we can have with our friends and partners there. And
who do we have as a friend and a partner down there these days?
Colombia, Brazil, Chile.
All right.
I also would say that Africa in the future is going to become much more important, and we too have reached out. For the first time ever, about a year ago, we put one of our nuclear carriers into South Africa. I was the first CNO that made a visit to South Africa. For 2 years running, we've been conducting the Africa Partnership Station on the west coast of Africa. We're operating ships on the east coast of Africa apart from the counter-piracy operations. We're developing relationships in the Maghreb that I think are going to become very important. Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt, and even the beginning steps with Libya. So I'd say, those areas. You're also drawn into the Arctic, but I don't believe the Arctic is going to become a transportation issue for a couple of decades. But I do believe that there will be increased fishing up there because some of those fishing stocks are going to be more accessible. And I believe that the desire and the interest and the resources that are on the bottom in the Arctic are going to be the first areas of interest, and where the countries that have Arctic interests will start to have some activity that we haven't seen before.
Interesting.
Because, I used to say, geography doesn't change. It's changing a little bit up north, and there's more water where there has not been. So, but this idea that in the near term there are going to be busy transportation routes up there, I think that's a little ways off. So I think that kind of covered almost every continent.